Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a 24-hour readathon. So I am going to be filming a 24-hour readathon over the next few days. I have 3 days to film this readathon and I'm hoping to essentially read 8 hours per day. I am starting a little bit later in the day than I had anticipated just because I was editing a video and that took me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. So I am starting this. It is just after 3 p.m. So what that essentially gives me until 11 if I read for 8 hours tonight. So I am going to be kind of doing the stop and start method where anytime I'm reading, timer will be going. Anytime I'm not reading, I will pause the timer, but fingers crossed I can do as much reading as I can over the next few days. Like I mentioned, since I do have 3 days, I am trying to do the 8-8-8 method and trying to read 8 hours for the next 3 days to get my 24 hours. I will say I'm not like super hard on that. Usually the first couple days, it's usually like the third day where I'm like, yeah, we gotta like ramp it up a little bit. But I am excited to do a 24-hour readathon. I haven't done one in a while and I'm hoping to get some really good reading done during this time. So I don't really have a TBR or anything for this video. I'm hoping to just kind of mood read my way through the weekend. And with that, I do have the first book picked out already, and that is Broken Dove by Danny Francis. This is the second book in the Silver Elite series, and I have been putting this book off. I've heard that this book goes in a completely different direction than the first book, so that has kind of made me a bit nervous to pick this book up. I did really enjoy Silver Elite when I read it, so I'm definitely interested to see what I'm going to think about this one. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into the first book for this video. So it's a bit later now. It's currently 7:32. I've been reading for about 2.5 hours in total, which obviously is not a great amount of time considering I started reading about 4 hours ago, but I have been making some progress in Broken Dove. I'm about a third of the way through, currently on page 200, which is the end of chapter 18, start of chapter 19. It has like these little like mixed media sort of pages in it with like death certificates and personnel files and stuff, which I'm enjoying. I will say this book does feel similar to the first book. I will say that like the writing feels similar. It feels like the same story. It doesn't really feel like much has changed. But I fear that that also could be the downfall of the story as well, because I'm not feeling super interested. Like I am intrigued to know what's going to happen, but I feel like what's happening right now, I'm not like foaming at the mouth to continue reading. This book does not feel very bingeable to me. Like it's fine. I like where we're going in a sense. I feel, I don't know, obviously the romance has taken kind of a back seat considering where things ended in book 1 and our characters becoming separated. And of course I expected them to be separated in this book because of the way that book 1 ended, but I don't know. I feel like there's just something about it that's just like not really intriguing to me. Like I'm feeling like I'm having a hard time like really getting into this. Like I feel like the first book in the series was definitely like a popcorn read, in the fact that like once I started it, I did not want to put it down. And this one, I am enjoying it, but like I'm not wanting to pick it up the way that I was wanting to pick up book 1. So I'm like hoping that this was not a bad book to start with for this 24 hours, because so far I'm just like not really wanting to pick it up like that. But I am of course going to continue reading. I did sit down right now to eat some dinner, so I'm gonna do that and continue reading while I eat, but thought I'd give that update, pop in, let you know that I'm about a third of the way into the book, and we'll see how I continue feeling about the book as I go on. I definitely don't think I'll hit my 8 hours today, that's for sure, but I'm gonna try. Not to hit the 8 hours, but I'm definitely gonna try and read some more because I definitely did doom scroll for a little bit. I think I'm gonna call it a night. So, I mean, I've made it pretty far into Broken Dove, but I need a break from it. So I think I'm gonna go to bed and pick it up in the morning. I have been reading so far for almost 5 hours. My timer is literally sitting at 19 hours and 25 seconds. So it was like perfect timing to pause, because then that just leaves the 19 hours to split over the next 2 days, which is 9.5 hours per day. And hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow I can read more than that, because I will have started reading earlier in the day. Unlike today, I just did not get to start as early as I would have liked. But I am currently on chapter 38, which is page 386. So this book is feeling very long. Like, this is a long book. It's almost 600 pages, and it's definitely feeling that way. I feel like Silver Elite was so much quicker of a read, even though it was, I want to say, around similar lengths to this, but I don't know. I feel like we're going in a direction that I'm not hating. Like, I feel like a lot of people were saying that they didn't love the ending of the book and where the book was going. I personally don't mind the direction that I feel like the book is going, but obviously we'll see when I get closer to the end, because I feel like people were saying that that's where their problem kind of was like the end of the book. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of things that I've learned with like reading a lot of like romantasy and stuff like that is like, never get too comfortable with the first love interest. And I feel like that could potentially be what is happening here, but also too, I'm not sure. Like, I can't quite tell. So I don't really know where the book is going in that aspect, because the romance in this has very much taken a backseat. Like, the romance is almost non-existent in this book. Like, we get like sprinkles here and there, but they're like basically nowhere to be found. So, and I feel like that too might be a reason that this book is feeling so long to me, is because I don't have something to root for. Like, I'm not rooting for a romance in this. And I feel like it's just a lot of training and like preparing for war in this. And like, that's fine, but like, it's not like crazy interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine, but it's not like amazing. Like, I'm not loving it. I'm just feeling very like middle of the road about it. Like, it's definitely giving the Restart energy, which is fine. That's not a bad book. So I don't know, we'll see. And the ending could potentially bump it up for me. Like I mentioned, I do still have right around 200 pages left. I think I actually have exactly 200 pages left in this book. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna probably go to bed just because I am feeling a little bit tired today, and I will be pausing this to finish in the morning. So I am expecting to finish this bright and early tomorrow morning. I'm hoping to get up kind of earlier in the day. Navy normally wakes up around like 6:30, but I tend to go back to bed after he gets his breakfast and goes out to go potty in the morning. So I'm expecting to probably start reading around like 8 or 9 tomorrow morning. So we'll just kind of see. We're gonna play it by ear, but that is where I am pausing the timer for the evening, and I will talk to you guys in the morning. Okay, so we are going to be taking a slight intermission. to take my friend Navy here to the vet. So he has gotten sick this morning. He hasn't been eating and he has been throwing up this morning, so we are going to be taking him to the vet. So I will be pausing my reading while we go do that. I'm hoping that he is okay. Maybe he's just feeling a little nauseous, but hopefully he'll feel better because I just want him to be okay. So we are going to take him to the vet. I am gonna go put shoes and stuff on because his appointment is in like 30 minutes. So I gotta go, but I have been reading Broken Dove this morning and I am currently on page 424. So I am making progress in this. I have about like this much left. I definitely did not get as much reading done of this morning as I would have liked, but that is okay. So hopefully going to do some more reading when we get back from the vet. So I'm gonna go run, put on some shoes, and I'm gonna put on a t-shirt, I think, because I do have a tank top on under this, but it's like hot, but it's like windy and kind of cool, so it's like too hot for a sweatshirt outside, but it's like t-shirt weather. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm gonna go do that, get his harness on and everything so that we can get ready, and I will talk to you when we get back. Okay, we are now back from the vet and he is okay. I think he's just having like stomach issues, so we got him some food for the next couple days and some anti-nausea medicine to hopefully help him feel a tiny bit better. But now that we're back, that means I can get back to reading. So I have my girl lunch, if you will, which is literally just a bowl of french fries and some ranch dressing for lunch that I'm gonna eat and get back to reading. So I'm hoping to finish Broken Dove, and I'm probably not going to talk to you guys again until I finish because this is what I need to do. I only got to read for maybe half an hour earlier before we had to leave, so I'm hoping to make a bit more headway now that we're back. It's currently 12:30, so I still have like 9 hours to read to make it on time for me only having 9 hours to read tomorrow. So I'm gonna try and hit all of my hours today, and if not, try to hit a few extra. So I'm gonna stop yapping so I can get to reading, and I will talk to you once I have finished Broken Dove. I just finished Broken Dove by Danny Francis. We are sitting at 16 hours, 31 minutes, and like 10 seconds on the timer, and maybe we do trust the first love interest. I don't know. I feel like I know, like last night I was saying, oh, like the direction of this book, the way that it's going, I wasn't sure. I didn't like, I know a lot of people didn't like it, and like you never really should trust the main love interest. Maybe you should trust the first love interest, because what do you mean? What do you mean, Cross? And I don't know. This book definitely went in a different direction than I was expecting, but I didn't hate it. I feel like I liked it. I feel like it is different from like other things in this genre that I've read previously, and honestly, like it really wasn't that bad. Like I feel like I enjoyed it. It was slow in certain parts, and like I don't know, like it felt very long and not like a very bingeable book in my opinion. So for that, I don't really know what I want to rate it. I feel like the overall plot storyline of it, I feel like maybe 4 stars potentially. I don't know. I feel like I might have to think on it a little bit, but I mean, I feel like it's a solid book. Like it felt purposeful. Like it didn't feel very fillery. Like obviously part of it was of course like filler, but I mean for the most part, like it moved the story along, and that's all I can really ask for. It definitely ended on a cliffhanger, so I definitely will be reading the next book whenever it does come out, but I'm definitely interested to see where things are going to go and like how they're going to come back from this and like what's going to happen, especially considering where Ren kind of stands with everything that's going on, and especially with Cross. I want to hear more about like what's been going on with him and like what's been happening in the past like few months that they haven't really been talking as much. So yeah, I don't know. I think 4 stars is a pretty solid rating for this. I definitely liked book 1 better, but I mean this one was still good. So that was fun. Glad that I finished this, and now I will be moving on to the next book that I'm going to be reading. And I've decided to kind of switch gears a little bit. I did have like sort of a kind of TBR in my head a little bit, but I don't really know. None of those are really calling to me at the moment, so I'm deciding to pick up this book instead. So this is Whistleblower by Kay Cobe. This is the first book in the Paladin series. And I want to say that this is a darker sort of romantic suspense book. So I heard about this on TikTok, I think, and it recently got picked up by a publisher because I think it was indie published originally. But I feel like this is what I'm going to pick up next. It is a bit on the shorter side, so I'm hoping that this will only take me like a few hours, and then maybe once I finish this we can readjust and see what I'm kind of in the mood for then. So I think this is what I'm going to start next. Giving my first update on Whistleblower. So I am not very far into this at all. Currently on page 66, which is the start of chapter 7. And so far, this book is exactly what it titled. Like, we're following a woman named Eden, and she is a whistleblower. She was working for this company and she whistle blew on them, and the company ended up having to go to court and essentially like shut down and things like that. And we're also following Link, and he is an assassin, and his assassin group has been kind of taken over by the FBI, and he is now an FBI agent essentially instead of like a hitman for hire basically. And so Eden is brought in to the FBI to work with Link's group called Paladin to essentially make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, because she, in like a very simplified way, is the HR person for this group of assassins. And honestly, I wasn't sure if that was gonna work for me, but so far it's working for me, and I am so excited to see where this goes. Like, it's definitely giving romantic suspense, and I love that. So I am going to continue reading. I might lay down for a little bit because I am a little sleepy, but it is like nearly 4 p.m. But I'm like, if I take a nap now, then that means I can just stay up a little bit later tonight to do some reading. So I'm thinking I might go lay down on the couch for a little bit. I'm definitely gonna take my book in there too, just in case I don't. I am gonna see if this is on Kindle Unlimited, potentially, so that way I can read some on my Kindle while I'm laying down, maybe, if it is on Kindle Unlimited. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. It's fun. Like I said, I'm only 60 pages in, so I don't have like a super massive update on this, but I am enjoying it, and I think this is going to be a really fun and definitely a quick read. I've only been reading for just over 30 minutes, so I definitely think I will fly through this one, but I am feeling a little sleepy, so I might need to go take a little nap. Finished Whistleblower by Kay Cobe, and there are still 12 hours, 44 minutes, and 17 seconds left on the timer. I did pause it because I needed to try and figure out what I was going to pick up next. I am very much like mood reading the rest of my way through the month because I have already finished my TBR for the month. It was a very short TBR, so I was able to get through it, and I think I'm out of my reading slump now, so I've basically just been flying through my books now that I'm like officially out of my reading slump. But anyway, I needed to take a second to try and figure out what it was that I was going to read next, because I feel like there's a few things that have been catching my eye and things that I've been wanting to read, but I think I'm more in the mood for something that's going to be a little bit more light, something a little bit more contemporary romancy. So that is what I decided to pick up next. But before we get into that, let's talk about Whistleblower. So I thought this was good. I did go ahead and pre-order the next book. I think it's out on Kindle Unlimited, but the paperback's not out just yet. But I did go ahead and pre-order a copy because I did really enjoy this book. I'm rating it 3.75 stars. It was good. I feel like it wasn't strong enough to be a 4, but 3.5 felt like too low. Plus, I feel like I had a really good time with this. This was a little bit on the darker side, but it definitely was a romantic suspense. I feel like it very much seamlessly blended the dark romance and romantic suspense genres very, very well, because we did have our main male character who is this assassin who is very much not necessarily morally gray, because like I feel like you could definitely tell that he does have like some sort of like moral compass, but he is willing to do anything to protect the people that he cares about. And so we do see that in the fact that he is an actual assassin and that he is basically a hitman for hire essentially. And then we've got our female main character, Eden, and she was a whistleblower, and you know, you kind of see how this has really affected her life and how she's really struggling with how she no longer has these connections. And so the FBI giving her this job to kind of essentially be this like HR person to this group of assassins. I really liked the concept, and I feel like reading about it was a really good time. So I'm glad that I picked it up, and I definitely would recommend it. I feel like it wasn't too dark. Like obviously there was like some stalking a little bit. There was like attempted kidnapping, there was like murder and things like that. Like there was those things in this, so it does lean a little bit on the darker side in terms of like graphicness, but as far as like your typical dark romance, it doesn't lean dark in that way, like as far as like specific trigger warnings, if that makes sense. And again, it was like the suspense because we are trying to figure out who is essentially stalking our main female character, and it was just a really good time. Definitely would recommend checking this out if you are interested in romantic suspense books. I definitely enjoyed myself and will be picking up the next one. But now that I'm done with Whistleblower, I will be picking up the next book. And like I said, I wanted something that was going to be a little bit lighter, and I don't really know if this book is going to be lighter just because it does have like, you know, one of those like cartoon covers. It could have like heavy subject matters, but I'm going to be picking up Collide by Balcabra. This is the first book in a series that I don't know the name of. So this is a hockey romance series. I've heard a lot about this book and this series. I feel like people are always talking about how good it is. So I did pick up the first book to see if I was going to enjoy it or not. So I'm going to give it a try. And so I figured what better time than now. I'm in the mood for something that's going to be a bit more contemporary romancy. It's a sports romance, so I feel like that'll be fun. So I'm excited to start this. And so I do plan on reading for a little bit longer this evening. It is currently at 9 p.m. and we're just shy of 13 hours left. So I definitely want to read for a few more hours, potentially finish this before I go to bed. We'll see how fast I fly through it. The text looks like it's not big, but it also doesn't seem like it's that small either. And this book is just under 400 pages, so we'll see. I'm gonna stop yapping and get into reading, and I'll let you know once I've started this and like kind of what my thoughts and feels and first impressions are of Collide. And I think I'm gonna call it a night. We have 10 hours, 53 minutes, and 28 seconds left on the timer, and I have been making progress in Collide. So I am currently on chapter 23, which is page 167. So I've made like a pretty decent chunk into the book. I've been reading for about almost 2 hours, and yeah, I'm just like starting to get really sleepy because when I told you guys earlier that I was gonna take a nap, I didn't. I literally doom scrolled for like 45 minutes, but now I'm sleepy, so I'm getting ready to go to bed. I definitely will finish this in the morning. I definitely see myself getting at least this and potentially one other book read tomorrow, depending on the book that I pick. So we'll see, because if it's a shorter book, then I'll probably finish it. And if it's a longer book, then I might not. So we'll just kind of see what the vibes are for tomorrow. But I am really enjoying this. So we're following Summer, and she is an honor student who is trying to get into graduate school, and she has to do this project on hockey players, and she ends up having to work with Aiden after he takes the fall for his team throwing a party that like destroyed part of campus. And so as a part of his like punishment, he has to help Summer with her project, and it's fun so far. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying it. I feel like this is the type of hockey romance that I like. While it is college, like I literally don't mind that. Like I'm having such a good time following them as they're going to class, as they're going to parties, as they're like going to hockey and doing all the things. And I'm having a good time. So I'm definitely enjoying this book so far. I really like the way that it's written. I like the writing style. I feel like this book is really working for me. So I'm happy that this is the book that I decided to pick up, and I can't believe it's taken me so long to read this. I am getting ready to go to bed, and I will talk to you guys in the morning. Sitting at 8 hours and 30 minutes left on the timer, and I have finished Collide by Ball Capra, and I definitely am going to be continuing in this series. I had such a good time reading this book. I'm rating it 4 stars. This is what I like in my like hockey romance. I feel like this book was so good. I really enjoyed the balance between the schoolwork, the hockey things going on, the relationship, and just everything about it. I really liked the structure of it. I really enjoyed the writing, and I liked our characters. I liked that they weren't very simple. Like I feel like they were a bit on the more complex side, which I really enjoyed. I also loved that Summer was a bit more of a black cat versus Aiden, who was more like golden retriever-y, and I really liked that Aiden was the one who was really pushing. Well, I don't want to say pushing because he wasn't like pushy, but like he was the one who was wanting to start a relationship, and I feel like a lot of the times that isn't like super present in books. Like obviously they both want, but I feel like a lot of times the guy is a little bit more hesitant to start the relationships versus the girls, and I feel like this was the opposite. Like Summer was very hesitant about starting a relationship, and I just really enjoyed this book overall, and I will be ordering the next book in the series so that way I can continue on. But now that I'm done with this book, I will be moving on to the next book. So I have decided that I'm going to be picking up Fever Dream by Elsie Silver. This is a like cowboy ranch style-ish romance, and I think this is like brother's enemy or something, like brother's rival or something like this. So I am intrigued to pick this one up. I've really enjoyed everything that I've read from Elsie Silver so far, so I'm excited to read this one. I did not realize that this one had like artwork in the front. This is like really the first time I'm actually like looking at this book, but cute. But I am excited to get into this. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into Fever Dream. So sitting at 4 hours and like 25 seconds left, and I just finished Fever Dream by Elsie Silver, and I think I'm gonna rate this book 4 stars. I feel like it was a pretty solid read. I enjoyed this one a lot more than the last Elsie Silver that I read, but I feel like this one was fun. It was like reality TV set because we're following Julia Silva, and she is working on this set as like the set coordinator sort of situation, set designer type situation. And then we're also following Emmett, and he is this like professional bull rider. He is kind of known as like a bad boy, and they are filming a like bachelor style reality TV show, very much similar to that one movie that has Miranda Cosgrove in it, The Wrong Paris or something like that on Netflix. This book was definitely giving those vibes. And so Emmett ends up, of course, falling in love with Julia, even though it's like technically forbidden because, you know, he's supposed to be falling for one of the girls on the cast or whatever. But this was so fun. Like, I had such a good time reading this. I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I think that I did. I feel like I do really tend to enjoy reality TV books if they're done well, and I feel like this one was done pretty well. One of my favorites is One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. That is like one of my favorite reality TV show books, and this one was pretty good. So definitely would recommend this if you're looking for something in that vein. But now that we have just under 4 hours left, I am going to be picking up a new book. So I'm going to be picking up a Kindle book this go round, just because I am looking for something that's going to be a tiny bit shorter and something that I can hopefully finish within the time that's left for this readathon. So the book that I'm gonna be picking up is Enigma by C.M. Barnes, and I think I heard someone talking about this on TikTok or something at one point. It is on Kindle Unlimited, and I think it's like a pretty short read, so I think this is what I'm going to go with next. Yeah, it's like just over 200 pages. So I feel like that will be the perfect book to end this readathon on. So with that being said, I'm gonna get to reading, and I'll talk to you once I have an update on Enigma. We're sitting with 15 minutes and like 50 seconds left on the timer, and this is where we are ending this 24-hour readathon because I did finish Enigma, and I am rating this book 3.5 stars. Y'all, this book, I don't know what I expected when going into this book, but that is not at all what I expected. Oh my goodness, that was not at all what I expected. So this is a Black urban romance. Well, I don't even want to say it's like urban, because it's not really giving those kind of vibes, but this is just a romance following these two people who have become widows, and they are forming a connection with each other after their previous partners have passed away, and they're like well into their like 40s. So this is like an older couple. And so basically we get the beginning where it's like kind of a prologue where we're seeing how they met. Like, so not really. So like kind of, but not really. So like we get Caleb, we get Angel's meeting and how they became friends, and how they then went to college together and how they grew up together. And then when they went to college, Angel ends up meeting Leanna, and they are like together. And then we also find out that Caleb ends up having a baby with this girl Maria when he was like in high school still, but they end up like making it and like continuing to have more kids and get married and that kind of thing. And so then we find out that Caleb's wife Maria has passed away from leukemia, and then a few months later Leanna's husband Angel passes away in a car accident. And so they're left in their grief, and then they come together, and boy, oh boy, do they come together. Oh my God. Okay. So this was erotica. This was an erotic novel. This was pure erotic literature, and nothing wrong with that. I just was not, I don't know what I expected, because I had heard about this book on the internet where people were talking about this book, but it had been so long since I had heard someone talking about it that I forgot what it was, and I didn't know exactly what it was about, just that it had been on my Kindle for a few months. I had heard people talking about it and decided to pick it up because it was going to be a short little quick read. And yeah, very, very spicy. I would definitely say like 4.5. Yeah, I would say like 4.5 chili peppers, 4 to 4.5 chili peppers. Like it was a pretty spicy read. They also explored their sexuality in this, and also formed a like polycule. I think that's like the correct clarification of the relationship, because they do eventually, you know, invite another couple into their relationship and that kind of thing. And it was just very erotic, if you will. But overall, I feel like the storyline that was there was enjoyable, of them like coming together in their grief after losing their significant others. And there was a bit of a story with, you know, Caleb having to deal with his father because he was a former professional athlete, and so like dealing with the money abuse from like his father and like that kind of thing, and just getting other relationship dynamics in the book. But I mean, I don't really have much on it. Like it was fine. It was 3.5 stars. Yeah, I don't know. If you're looking for a like extra super spicy romance, then I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I got for this readathon. It's been fun. I'm getting ready to go to bed so I can go to work in the morning, but thought I'd pop in, give my final update for the books that I read. I feel like it was a pretty successful readathon. I read 5 books during this time, so I feel like that was just absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I'll have all of my social media linked in the description. Use any hype points if you have any. And if you have made it to this point in the video, leave the wolf emoji, because broken dove, there is like a little wolfy creature in there. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.